The webinars is actually being live streamed, but our history has been that nobody ever watches the live stream. But we do that to do the recording.
That's fine.
And let's see what's going on here.
Oh, Sandy, you weren't in here, but we have a hard stop at 12:55
I heard
because
him.
there's another meeting. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
On silent. So I have an alarm set for 12:50 on my phone. So if you see me looking down, that's why.
Okay.
Oh gosh, all the stuff in my door is in the background.
And I'm realizing I have all these other tabs up here that I need to close or I'll be confused later.
All right, so the Zoom session is recording. Anita Kayat will pick that up, and she has some video editing software, so she'll clean up the front end stuff and the back end stuff that we have. So not to worry from the practice session. I'm going to assume you'll introduce yourselves and tell people who you are and how you want to proceed and so forth. So I'll just say Sandy, tell me your last name again, please.
Whitmer, W-I-T-M-E-R.
MDR. So I will just say that Sarah and Sandy will introduce themselves, and then I will go on mute. But I'll be here the entire time in case anything comes up where you need me. When you're finished, just say goodbye for now. We're going to end the session, and then I will end the session without coming back on.
Okay.
Okay. So you'll be in complete control in that regard.
So while Sandy's talking, I'll be quiet because she's literally in front of me.
Okay.
I'll put myself on mute so we don't have a double echo.
Okay. Are you guys in the same room?
Just about.
The staff room, yeah.
Okay. All right. So the library is downtown, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to give the address as well, so people can have that?
Sure. Is it in my slides?
We recommend people talk to you all the time. We say the business librarians at the main branch can help you out, find the information you need. But this is the first time I've had a chance to actually watch you guys in action.
Okay. Oh, it's in the last slide now.
Great. And I'll be sharing my screen for the slides. And then once I stop sharing my screen, then you guys can have control and go forward. It's about 8 slides. And it's our boilerplate, our stump speech, as we like to say.
I'm going to mute.
Yeah, I'm going to start the webinar. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Dan Yerman. I'm here with Sarah Dobronsky and Sandy Whitmer from the Cleveland Public Library. We will be starting the webinar in just a minute. We're waiting for a few more people to join us. And then we'll be off to the races. So please stand by. You will not be hearing any sound while we're waiting. Those of you who just joined us, we're waiting for everyone to join. We'll probably start in 1 to 2 minutes. Not everyone is absolutely on at exactly 12. We want to make sure that everyone gets an opportunity to fully participate. So one or two more minutes, please be patient. Thank you. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. This is SCORE Cleveland webinar on how to use the Cleveland Public Library for business research. Our presenters today will be Sandra Dubowski and Sandy Whitmer. The slides will be sent to everyone who is registered today. So you will get them if you're registered and attending. I'm going to present some brief overview of what SCORE does, and then I'm going to turn the session over to our presenters. Okay, this is a little bit of a session on SCORE. Basically, SCORE is the largest network of free volunteer small business mentors in the country. There are about 10,000 people across the nation and over 200 chapters around the country. There are 7 chapters in Ohio alone. And so no matter what the stage of your business at SCORE, we have a mentor for you, and you can go to the SCORE Cleveland website, which you'll see the URL for briefly, and request a mentor. SCORE's mission is to foster vibrant small business communities through mentoring and education. We want all small business owners to be able to thrive. Small businesses are the main driver of our national economy through job creation and wealth building, and our volunteers give freely of their time, energy, and knowledge to others. As I mentioned, there's over 10,000 volunteers in around 1,500 communities. SCORE is over 50 years old, been around doing this a long time. We are open to everyone, and no one is ever turned away. All SCORE mentor sessions are free and fully confidential. SCORE will never share information with your business and will never charge you a fee. Our volunteers in the past year have created over 54,000 new businesses, 61,000 new jobs, and we served 58,000 clients. We protect our clients through a code of ethics. We're not permitted to consult with you or make money from mentoring you, and all the information is confidential. This is our website, which is SCORE Cleveland. You just go to score.org. We'll get you to SCORE Cleveland, and our services are free. We receive a small amount of money from the Small Business Administration, which also provides loans to small businesses. So that is our presentation. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to our presenters who will introduce themselves.
All right. Hello, everyone. Sorry, I'm dueling screens right now, so if you see me look over, that's why. My name is Sarah Dobransky, and I'm the General Research Collections Manager at Cleveland Public Library, and I manage the Business, Science, and Government Documents departments.
And I'm actually Sandy Whitmer, not Sarah Dobransky. Had some sign-in issues this morning. I'm the senior subject librarian in the business department, and I've been here for 31 years. Ready, Sarah?
Here we go. I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully it will come up. Go. Go. Everyone can see the slides? So, good? Okay. As we said, we're Sandy and Sarah, two of the many S names here at the library. And we both work in the business department, but I do a little tiny bit more, but Sandy does more in the business respect. So a little bit about us. Well, just like SCORE, we're also free, but we are kind of old. We were created in 1869. We are at the main library downtown, Sandy and I, but we do have branches in our neighborhoods. I have 27 on there, which would be fine if they were completed, but we're going through a new construction project, so some of those are closed. The big thing to note is that we have 150 databases that are, again, free with your CPL card, and that includes LinkedIn Learning, Gale courses, and Mango languages. We're also a patent trademark resource center, which is in our science department, and that means that we have a formal partnership with the USPTO in DC. So why would you come down to the library? We are not your average neighborhood branch. We are more of the research institution, and then the branches are more of your kind of neighborhood place where you just go and get your stuff and you have story time. I don't do story time. Sandy doesn't do story time. But we are far more like academic or special librarians than we are your typical public librarian. We do offer in-person appointments. If there's something that you really need help on and it's not a quick over the phone, you can just call ahead, just let us know you're coming in, and we'll make sure that we have as much as we can ready for you, and then we'll go over everything. And then we do have reservable space. If you have a client meeting or anything during the day, it's free unless you have food. After hours, it's just a small charge, but it's kind of nice. The only bad thing is we don't have parking. So you can get a CPL card if you go on our website, cpl.org, and then just go up to library cards. And if you have a question, we do have a live chat. And well, tomorrow afternoon, Sandy and I will be the robots behind the chat. Sometimes people think that we are just one of those automated services, but no, every chat session has librarian and library assistants from the main library from their subject department. So we'll be able to help you right then and there. So today we're going to go over some of our resources, and then Sandy's going to go over the databases later. So I'll go through the PowerPoint and I'll switch it over to her and she can do some live searching. First is Gale Legal Forms. This resource is invaluable. Honestly, I've given this presentation also to attorneys, and they didn't realize they had access to this with a CPL card. So all you need to do is go online. It gets you there's a small business package, and it has everything in there that you would need: NDAs, license agreements, contracts, and they're all legal forms that can go to the court. So they're official, and they're really easy. Just download the Word document and then fill in the blanks. And once you download it, it's yours. You don't have to have your subscription or your library card anymore. You can change it. You can do whatever you want. But it does include things that we don't typically think of, like receipts for large purchases, or I think like time cards or something like that. So there's a lot of stuff in there that is not your typical form, but it's a good place to go because it's better than going up, just Google. And then intellectual property research. So I said we are a PTRC, but the IP also includes copyright. There is a series that has some IP in it, but if you want to come to us, what we could do is help you find, obviously, trademark and patent information, but it also helps when you find competitors. So if you're coming in and you are starting a clothing company and you want to know who's in the industry, we can look for other clothing companies who have trademarks in the Cleveland area. We can find patents. So if you are thinking of being or if you are a manufacturer of small parts and you want to find a car company or another company to start to license them, or as a distributor, then we can find that on there with too. And the reason why we say come in is because this is complicated. The patent search is not intuitive at all, and there are a lot of codes that go in there, and it's just difficult. It's so not intuitive that we end up training attorneys so that they can use it, because it doesn't make sense. And you don't learn this in law school. And trademarks they just updated it a few months ago, and it's just as confusing. Slightly better because trademarks are pretty obvious. You could just do a search for a company and you'll find Starbucks. But still, there's some weird things in there. So if you come downtown, or if you call and make an appointment with us, we can do like a Zoom meeting and then just share our screen, but we'll show you how to search for both of those. And then our small business resources. We have the Gale ebooks, which have a lot of business plans in them, and Sandy will talk about business plans in a little bit. The Small Business Reference Center has the NOLO book series. That is my favorite legal publisher. Full disclosure, I mean, I don't own any of them, but I love them. They are easy to read. They are meant for law for everyday people. And we have things like, rental, landlord, tenant, now I'm blanking, copyright, patents, licensing, all those things we have in the NOLO series book. So if you don't see them in that Small Business Reference Center, you can't see my screen that I'm pointing, then we should have them in print. And then LinkedIn Learning, I know it seems like the kind of catch-all, just watch a video, but if you find yourself in a position where all of a sudden you have a software you have to learn, like, oh, how do I use QuickBooks? Now I have to track employees, or now I have to do expenses. You can use that platform to start learning about what you need with some usually quick videos that you can watch within an hour. Sometimes there's a whole series. So if you want to do like some leadership training, or other things like how to be a presenter, you can find all of that in there. So we're going to start with some industry research. And I don't know if you are all familiar. I hope you are. But we're going to start with the NAICS codes, which is the North American Internet Industry Classification System. And that is from the Census Bureau. It took the place of the SIC codes in the 90s, but some people use SIC still. Some people use just NAICS. It depends on the database. But it's really a government product. But because so many businesses do business with the government, it became like a business term. And if you go to census.gov/NAICS, NAICS, you can search for what you need, look up the industry that you're looking for, and find the code. And then you can use that code as you're doing your business search. And you'll see that in a little bit. So if we're looking for restaurants, all we did was search restaurants in that search bar, and it comes up a few different things. So your NAICS code for your industry won't always be the same. It could be a couple different things. And so if you are a restaurant supply company, that's a different NAICS code. If you are doing delivery service, that's different. So make sure that you look at that and grab the numbers that apply. And there might be some other things. So say you are a a restaurant, and then you have a small gift shop. You might want to also look at the gift shop stuff. So what can you find at CPL? We generally help you find demographic data. So if you're looking to find out who your target audience is, where they live, what their household income is, generally, you know, how many married people or single people you have, depending on your product. So we can help you find that. Consumer and household spending. We have some databases that will find folks who are dog lovers, those who are fitness people. So if you are looking for that kind of audience, we can help you find that. Competitor data. This is kind of big because you want to know who you're up against, or you want to look and see what they're doing so that maybe you can do something similar or do something different, you know, whatever you need, but you can find competitors. And then sourcing supplies. So if you are a t-shirt company and you need actual t-shirts, you just have the silk screening, we can help you find suppliers either local or elsewhere. We've helped people find like chemical companies for janitorial supplies. We help people find a lot of interesting things. So you can come to us and we'll help you with that. So that was really quick, but I'm going to switch it over to Sandy and you'll get the slides, but this is our information. If you ever want to get a hold of us, you can email business or SciTech, which is, I'll get that. You can email me directly. I'll probably forward it to one of our librarians because they're far more knowledgeable than I am. But you could chat, like I said, you can call, make an appointment, you can come down. Whatever you need, we're here for you. We're open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6. And just either come on down or make an appointment and we'll be good. So I'm going to stop sharing.
Okay, so time for me to share my screen. Okay, so whenever you're doing any searching of our databases, you're going to be starting at the library's homepage, which is just cpl.org, and come over here to the research tab, click on research databases, where you promptly see Cranes Cleveland temporarily unavailable. It seems to be permanently unavailable, but I haven't been able to verify that. So we do have other ways of getting at most of the articles from Cranes other than just going straight to their website, fortunately. So the rest of this page, we have research categories, and then there's just a big long alphabetical list of all the research databases that the library subscribes to. For your business kinds of searching, you're going to mostly be using the business and consumer information tab. You may also want to use the newspaper article search because we have access to the plain dealer, including, you know, all the way back to into the 1800s when it first started, and as well as like the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal. But today we're going to focus on the business and consumer information databases. So one of the big things to be aware of is that some of the databases only Cleveland Public Library subscribes to, and others, all of the CleveNet libraries subscribe to. So, so the card that you have will determine whether you can get in or not. So a couple of the databases I'm showing today, like this first one, Business Insights, says you have to have a CPL card. So you can get around that if you have a card, say from like Cleveland Heights. You can come to one of our facilities and ask to have your profile changed so that you can get into the CPL only databases. Let's see. All right, so we will go ahead and enter Business Insights here. This has, yeah, this is kind of not my favorite homepage of all time. There's just so much stuff on there, and a lot of it is sort of like advertising for the rest of the database. But you can get started here in this search box. And so we're going to follow through with the restaurant theme. And you can either start out by typing in the industry code that Sarah pulled up for us, or just the word restaurants. And so I'm just going to go with that, and you see it brings up some of the options. So if you were actually looking to see, you know, actually I want to do something in, you know, one of these other categories, you know, you can select there as well. So we'll just go to the full service restaurants. This kind of gives an overall industry profile here. Yeah, again, there's a lot of stuff. If you want to see top companies by revenue, you can select the country. So we'll look at the ones that you may recognize here. Darden. So the first number of them are, you have revenue listed here, and that's because they're publicly owned companies and they have to report their sales information. The rest of the companies that are listed here are privately owned, so they don't have to report that, but the database has other ways of determining, you know, the size. So they're part of the list as well. Some of the useful information that you can get from this page is the variety of industry reports. Those can come in very handy when you're writing a business plan. Some of these emergent industry reports I found are kind of old information. So you always have to make sure that you're keeping an eye on the date of the report or article that you pull up. But some of these are newer, like there's a report on dark kitchens, which came up during the pandemic. I want to focus a little bit more on this U.S. industry report. This one is actually put together by Gail, the database owner. And so you get a real, yeah, good overview on a national level of the restaurant industry, organization and structure, background, industry leaders, current conditions, workforce, and then almost as useful sometimes as the text up above are the links listed below. So yeah, you might find a link down here that would get you to an even more current list than what they have here. I've looked this up before, this 2020 State of the Restaurant Industry. If you go to this website, you can find a more recent one. So that kind of thing comes in handy as well. I'm going to go back to the industry report page. Another helpful one is these Plunkett reports. They go into a lot more detail than that first one did. So you'll actually get a lot of, yeah, so this is a 26-page report, and you can get into a lot more down to the heart of the matter here. Oh, okay. So introductory material, and then a lot of statistical information, which again is going to be on a national level, and a lot of what you're trying to do may be local, but frequently with industry information, it is, yeah, you're going to have to at least start at this level. Close that one out. Okay. And then on the same page, you can keep scrolling down and get to industry articles, market share and rankings. This database likes to split things up by the type of source. So you'll get articles from trade journals, academic journals, magazine articles. It can get a little bit confusing. So what I usually do when I want to look for articles is to go up at the top here is the advanced search button. And you can just put your terms in here. So you can, you know, and terms together so that you can narrow things down. And you don't have to specify which type of source necessarily. can also here, if you go down by, you can limit it by publication title. And here is where, if you really just want to look at Crane's Cleveland business articles, you can just do that, click on search, and I think it generally puts the most recent first. So you'll see that there's about a week delay, and you can't see every article, but all the major articles should be here, and you'll get the full text of it, which if you ever tried to get onto Crane's website and see a whole article, you know that you cannot do for free. So this is what we have, access to that now. And I mentioned articles too, because particularly when you're trying to come up with information for your project, there may not be a whole lot of industry information available, especially if you've got a great new idea. Well, then hopefully no one else has done a whole lot in it, and that's helpful for you to find start your business, except for the fact that it's hard to find background material to to support it. But lots of times you can find articles, and these are almost always full text on here as well. Okay, all right, that's it for that database. I'm going to go back to our home page, back to the research database list. And now we're going to look at another database called Data Axle, formerly Reference USA, just in case you are familiar with an older version of it. And this one likes to throw up a lot of little roadblocks in your way. So sometimes you get error messages that are strange. And so just keep on clicking through and you'll get there. And like it says, you're in the right place. Okay, so there are actually a number of databases within Data Axle. We're going to focus today on the US businesses and then on the US consumers' lifestyles. Okay, so it always starts you out in the quick search. And if you have a company name and you'd like to know more information about that company, you can just type that in here. So we're going to go with Ohio City Burrito as our restaurant example. Okay, so you can see that they have 3 locations. I'll just click on the first one here to show you the detail. So you have a little bit more contact information in here, including a link to their website. Every once in a while, these links to companies' websites are not correct. I don't know how they come up with them sometimes, but so if the link seems goofy, then yeah, you might want to Google it instead. Down here under industry profile, it lists the codes that this company has chosen to use to describe themselves. And that's exactly how it works. When you're starting a business, you select the codes that are most appropriate for your business. And like Sarah mentioned, if there's more than one code that's applicable for what you're doing, you definitely want to list as many as you can. That helps people find your business. Okay, and a little bit more information, 10 employees at this location, sales volume of 511,000. This, again, since this is a privately owned company, they don't have to report a lot of these details, but the database vendor has their algorithms where they figure out, well, based on, okay, it's a restaurant in the Cleveland market and they have this many locations. Yeah. So they've got ways of figuring out that their sales are probably 511,000. You can see how long they've been in the database. Sometimes there's a spot for year established. That one doesn't happen to be filled in this case. Here you have an owner. Sometimes we'll get a manager. If it's a publicly owned company you're looking up, you're going to get a lot more listings there as well. There's a section down here for business expenditures, which again are going to be estimated, but they might come in handy for you when you're trying to figure out how much your expenses are likely to be for your business. And then you can see some of their business size history, sales volume. This is probably about when they started here. And usually the employee size sort of matches the sales volume. Okay. And then some business history. I looked this up yesterday. This is actually the same owner, just started out with a different name at that same location. All right. So that's that for a quick search. Now to get to the good stuff here, we're going to go into the advanced search tab. Here's where you can limit your, produce a list of competitors or, see where they are and all that. So we're going to start out by doing the keyword search again. Here you can, I'm going to tell it, well, I'll just leave it at SIC. You can just type restaurants here and search. Now, that's probably going to be confusing if I do it that way. So I'm going to switch over to NAICS, make sure we're sticking with the same. Okay, so that's the same code. Now you notice that there are a couple more digits on here, and that's because this database, along with some others, they take the official NAICS codes and they add some digits on so that they can get that much more specific. So that 17 that's added in here will only work within this database. All right, so that's the category that we want. So I'm just going to click on that and it puts it in the selected box here. And then I'm going to come over here and look at limit to the city and state. So we'll type in Cleveland. See all the Clevelands in the US. We'll pick Ohio. And then I'm going to just do an update count over here. This lets you know how many companies that you've turned up in your search. You can see that there are a lot of different ways that you can limit things. If if there's a specific, anything that you want to limit by pretty much is listed over here on the left. I usually suggest starting out with a bigger list, and then once you see what kind of results you're getting, then limit it further from there if you need to. So we'll click on View Results to see the actual list. And these generally are just in alphabetical order here. You can see that there are, well, sometimes people just want addresses or, information on companies that have email addresses listed. So that's why they're listing that there. We have 46 pages of information altogether. So this is where you start to go, well, I don't really need all 4 7-Elevens, but you can go through and select as many or as few as you're interested in. Let's see, one thing, you have some choices here of how you want to review things. You can, if you click on review, it'll give you statistics on what you've on your list. Heat map is fun. This can kind of give you an idea of what parts of Cleveland have the most restaurants. So not surprising that it's There are more downtown, but you can keep on zooming in to get more details. And eventually you get to the level of individual restaurants. There's the Rowley Inn. So that's not going to be handy for everybody, but I've had some patrons who've been really thrilled to see that possibility. You can also download or print your results. To do that, you have to select them. So you can, if you want to select absolutely, well, you can't select the entire list all at once because Data Axle wants to make sure that nobody can easily steal their whole database. So they throw up another roadblock, which is you can only download, I think they're up to 250 records at a time. So you can, if you want to select a whole page, you can select there. That, okay, I don't really want these 7-Elevens, so unselect those. Go on to the next page, select some more, and then you can download them, and it'll put it into an Excel file, and you can do whatever you need to do with the data, with the sorting or making charts or any of that. It can be easier to work with shorter lists. So if you you could limit yourself to zip code instead of city or state to kind of shorten up your list. You can always do searching by another zip code and and then add that. So it's just some of the little tricks that make it easier to work with. I think that's what I wanted to show you there. We'll go back to the list of Data Axle databases. And we're going to look at the US consumers and lifestyles. Again, you can look up an individual here, but probably you're going to be more interested in the advanced search where you can see, produce a list of potential customers for you. So again, we can search by location. So we'll limit to Cleveland, Ohio again. It's in the selected box. One thing about this particular database is you're probably going to want to limit it to one per household. Say if you wanted to send out like a postcard introducing your business to everybody on this list, if you do all per household, you're going to get, if there are 4 people living there, you're going to be sending 4 pieces, the same piece of mail to every person. So probably be a little more efficient to do one per household. This is interesting here with these consumer snapshots. They actually, you can get statistics about any of these topics, but somehow Data Axle has decided that this is sensitive information, and so you cannot actually produce a list from that. So that's interesting. But under lifestyles, you can produce more. Yeah, you can limit it further using this. So I'm going to go down here and click on the pets and animals, specifically choose dogs, because perhaps you want to start your restaurant with and have a dog patio. So this might help you find where the consumers are who own dogs or interested in them. There's still a lot of them, over almost 8,900. So I'm not sure exactly how this one is, if this is arranged, but you can, you could sort by zip code, by street address or name, however, it might make sense for you to do it. Again, we have possibility of using the heat map. So this is kind of fun to see where most of the dog owners are. Mostly on the near west side, so this might come in really handy, particularly if you're, you know, not from this area and might not know, you know, have anecdotal um, evidence as to where most dog owners are living. So you could go, oh, okay, well, I think I definitely want to put my restaurant with the dog patio over in this part of town. All right, go back to the results page. And again, just like with the businesses, you can download or print. This would be a really big list to work with. So again, you might want to do it with searching just by zip code, or um, you know, limit it in some of the other ways that are possibilities. So you can always click on revised search and get back to where you were. It keeps the things that you have selected, and you can add more, just not from the consumer snapshot. That might come in handy getting statistics on these things, but it's not going to help with your list in particular. So, all right, and that was it for that one. I know this is a lot of information in a hurry, so we definitely encourage you to call us or come in if you have questions. Yeah, because I know it's a lot. So there's one more database that I'm going to go over here, which is similar to Data Axle in the the type of information that's available. This is called Mergent Intellect, and they well, we'll come down here and do consumer data first, since we were just doing that in Data Axle, and they have similar kind of setup. We've got quick search if you want to look up an individual by name, advanced search, so we can do the city and state again, just to give you an idea how different your results can be. And you're here to add to, yeah, whichever one you select here, you have to click on Add to Criteria. Okay, choose Cleveland, Add to Criteria. They've got lifestyle here, what they call it. And I think we have, where did those pets go? Oh, way up here. Okay. So pet lovers or owners, we'll just select dog owners here. That's and add to criteria. So down at the bottom, you can see what your criteria are. Oh, no, oops. Yeah. So I accidentally clicked on the wrong things up there. I meant to just do, if you click out over here, you'll get all of them. So I should have just, all right. All of these seem to be behaving differently every time I use them. So there we go. There's just dog owner. All right. And then to do the actual search. So the number of people that we turned up is different than in Data Axle. But again, you have a list that you can sort by in various ways. You can print or download. You can build various files. Even if you want to adjust the font size, to make it easier for you to see on the screen. And this one, let's see. let's go by gender here. So with this many females, this many males. So depending on how you like to see your information, or some chart that you're trying to produce for your business plan, you might prefer to use this database over Data Axle. So a lot of this, with these two databases that are so similar, a lot of it is pretty much just, we tend to use the ones that we like better, and that's fine. But it's good to have an idea of what's available. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the company information now. Okay. Here's the location here. I don't know if you noticed on that first screen, it just showed 2 locations as opposed to the 3 that were in Data Axle. That's another thing that we see a lot. The information from the 2 companies doesn't necessarily match up. So it's definitely a good idea to, if you're looking up a specific company, you want to look on their website and the 2 different databases, at least 2, and compare to get an idea, because there is no one place that you can find perfect information on any company. So these are good places to get started and give you an idea what's going on, but you're not going to find a perfect list anywhere. Okay. And again, we have financial details, industry details, and these again are privately owned, so they don't have a whole lot of detail on available to them, but it's a lot of the same kind of information that you saw in Data Axle. This is another interesting thing that you can do from here. You can click on this to get surrounding companies, which would be of all different kinds of industries within a 3-mile radius, though you can adjust it here. So it does kind of focus on other restaurants. So instead of having a heat map, they've got this kind of map, which again, depending on what you're trying to do, can be more helpful for you. Right. And from your, oh yeah, so we can also, in the advanced search, same kind of thing as we did with the, with looking for the consumers, you can do your search by state, add to criteria. I always have to say that to myself to remind me that, yeah, I need to do it. Add, because you can click on all kinds of things up here, but if you don't click on add to criteria, you're not actually going to get any searching done. Oops. Cleveland, add, and then industry. So again, we can go by NAICS code or keyword search. But if you click on that, you already have the number, you can click on enter. But both of these sources allow you, they have their own ways of showing you, so you can look it up if you don't already have it. Now I've lost track of. All right, 722511. Add to criteria. Okay, Cleveland, Ohio, restaurants, and search. Again, Emergent really likes the charts. And then you have listings here, which you can do, the same kinds of download or print. Now, Emergent will apparently let you download all. That would be a lot of printing to do, certainly. So you have, options there. Select which ones you're interested in. But I think that pretty much covers it. Again, these are the basic databases that we use frequently when people come in and are looking for this type of information. And we're always happy to help people with their projects. And like I said before, feel free to work on any of these on your own, because you can get into them from offsite if you have the right cards. But if you're getting stuck or you just want to talk over some of the options with us, feel free to come in or give us a call. We're always happy to help.
Really quick, I saw that there were some questions in the chat, and I can't answer them directly. So thank you, Dan, for posting my one answer. As far as patent searching goes, Sandy, I'm going to mute you.
Oh, I should.
There we go. That way we don't want the echo. So as far as patent searching goes, you can search from anywhere online. You don't have to have a CPL card, but if you want help, you can find a local PTRC, and there is a map, and I can't put it in the chat. I really wish I could. Actually, you know what? I'll put it in, and maybe Dan can send it to everyone. But you can find somewhere that will help you. And again, you can always call us. We're more than happy to help you over the phone or set up like a Zoom session and do this, share screens. And same thing for trademarks. If you're looking for trademarks, we can help you with that. And also, patent attorneys and patent agents have to be vetted or barred. They have to pass a special bar from the patent office. So if you are looking for an attorney, we can find an attorney that's specifically a patent attorney for you. I'm trying to think other questions. I think that was it. And then you'll get the slides later. Is there anything else?
Everyone will get the slides and you'll get a link to the recording. So if you want to follow along on how the search was done and watch it to get a better feel for things, you will get a recording. If you missed the first few minutes of the session, I encourage you to contact the folks at the main public library. They're available, as they mentioned, Monday through Saturday during business hours, and they're your best resource to follow up.
So see, the last question is, where do you go? We are in the Lewis Stokes wing, the larger concrete and glass building on the corner of 6th and Superior. But yeah, we're on the 4th floor for business and the 3rd floor for science for the patents. So come on down.
It is 12:55. I want to thank everybody for attending. We are going to wrap things up here now. I want to thank our two presenters for a great presentation. I learned a lot. Hopefully it was useful to you too. And again, you will get the slides and a link. They won't come right away, but within the